Vice President Toure presides over the inauguration of a new Food Safety and Quality Authority Bureau in Mansakonko. Mourners lay flowers at Windsor Castle in solidarity with the royal family after the demise of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. And the Ministry of Health, together with the WHO, reviewed COVID-19 response in the Gambia. These and more coming your way in this week. It's 2000 hours from our studios in Banjul. This is Africa TV. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kande, and now the news in details. Now, the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, has inaugurated the Regional Bureau of Food Safety and Quality Authority in the Lower River Region capital, Mansakonko. She held the initiative as the crucial path of quality of lives of the people. Omar Ahmad Toure has more details of that in this report.
With more than 800 people facing hunger worldwide, the need for quality food and its sustenance is unprecedented. The opening of a major facility around the administration of food security and safety in one of the country's provincial towns is an integral stride by definition of the Vice President.
Food, right to food, but healthy food is very key in developing a nation and maintaining and sustaining the people of the nation. Therefore, what is happening today is really history-making and following the path of solid and sustainable development for the Gambia. Food is needed by everybody. Food is the vehicle and what we need to live as human beings for us to be able to fulfill our aspirations.
Dr. Toure commends women for being vanguards in development and for their crucial roles in the execution of the project.
Women happen to be in the forefront of development. It is very encouraging and satisfying to note that the first office in Mansakonko is allocated by a female governor. The renovations and decoration were contracted to a young female, and I am today complimenting women's achievements. I seize this opportunity, therefore, to celebrate all women in development. Well done. Women too can make it.
VP Toure enjoins transparency and accountability in workplaces, pledging her government's commitment to the creation of an enabling environment. She also pleads for behavioral and attitudinal changes in institutions, urging for more focus on hard work. For iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadou Toure reporting.
Authorities of Food Safety and Quality, of course, launches a new bureau in the Lower River region. Now, mourners brought flowers to Windsor Castle in Windsor on Friday, where Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, died at the age of 99, despite requests from the royal family against the move. According to reports, the request is in line with the observance of the COVID-19 preventive protocols. Mourners were seen at the Windsor Castle showing sympathy to the royal family following the announcement of his death on Friday. Sona Tunkara tells us more of that in this report.
The death of Prince Philip came at a time when he was rarely seen in public life for about 3 years after his retirement from royal duties in 2017. In February 2021, the Duke was admitted at a London hospital where he spent 1 month treatment for infection. The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh were married for 73 years and they have 4 children together. Mourners hail Prince Philip as a good companion to the Queen.
He's just been there forever in our lives with the Queen. And what a shame he didn't make 100. So close. But I think he's a character as well. He was a real character.
Yeah, and he's been the rock for the Queen. I don't think she would have been able to do it without him by her side. and obviously our thoughts go to her.
Obvious that we should remember him as such a person that made such a difference to everybody's lives and supported the Queen. So for her not to have him at the moment by her side, obviously, as that support, I think it's time to reflect and think about the Queen and what she's going through. So just sad, to be honest, for her.
In the wake of the pandemic, the royal family has asked people not to leave flowers and tributes at royal residence due to some of the COVID-19 preventive measures. However, people went ahead to place flowers, cards outside the palace as their tribute to the royal family. A local described Prince Philip as not just a prince to them, but a man who served as their pillar of strength.
Prince Philip was one of our pillars of strength, and he always was, stood by the Queen. I feel very sad. I feel I've lost my words, to be honest. But then again, he is a good ripe old age, and he would have been 100 in June. So, yeah, he had a good innings and did so much for the country, and we all loved him.
The longest serving royal consort in the history of British is reported to have suffered a series of illnesses and has been hospitalized for a number of health issues, including surgery for a hip problem. Following his retirement in 2017, Philip was admitted to hospital in London for a heart procedure and treatment for infection. He was then taken to Windsor Castle, where he passed away. For African News, Sohna Tunkara.
Mourners in the UK were out to show solidarity with the royal family despite the COVID-19 protocols. Now, IEC's Chief Electoral Officer has denied reports indicating his chastisement of the government of electoral matters. He described the story titled "Barrack Government Not Interested in Free, Fair and Transparent Election" carried out on local news outlets as false and baseless. Binta Jallo has more of that in this report.
As elections are fast approaching, the Independent Electoral Commission has started rehabilitation and refurnishing of its regional offices. First to be inaugurated is the Regional Electoral Office in Brikama, West Coast Region, and Kerewan Regional Office in North Bank Region, which is also expected to be inaugurated on Saturday. The moves come ahead of much talked about presidential election slated for December 2021. Aliu Momar Njai, chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission IEC, reassured the electorate and all its stakeholders of its continued commitment and resolve to deliver free, fair, transparent and credible elections. He further underscored the importance of the rehabilitation of the regional offices.
Most of the IEC regional offices lack adequate offices, space, and storage facilities. The conditions of some of the IEC regional offices were left to be desired, and including a queue, as one house.
UNDP resident representative Ms. Aisha Day highlighted the objective of the project.
So it's important to invest in this preparedness and to make sure that these are also premises that will be here in between elections, to strengthen the system, but also to be part of the overall democratic institutions that are being rebuilt and for a better Gambia.
Whilst the IEC takes pride of its human resources, it has been challenged with inadequate capital resources. To bridge this gap, the Independent Electoral Commission signed $4.9 million elections project in October last year to support the Gambia's forthcoming electoral cycle. The UNDP Electoral Support Project 2020-2022, which aims to promote free and fair elections in the country, has already delivered a magnificent assortment of furniture and office equipment. Some of these items have been installed in the regional offices, including the one in Brikama. For African News, Binta Jallo.
And from the report there by Binta Jallo on the election matters, as the IEC launches a new bureau now to matters of the TRRC, because the council Bori Estore on Thursday said the regional chairperson of the former ruling party in Basse URA and Farafenye NPR used their influences to control decision of rural magistrates' courts. He was speaking before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, during which he said that civil servants were required to pay allegiance to political authorities. Kadid Seka has more details of that in this report.
Mr. Toure testified that his appointment to the Basse Magistrate Court in the Upper River region was initially opposed by the then AFPRC chairman, Banta Kamara, who had feared that he, Toure, was not going to work on the political directives. He noted that political infringement into judicial decisions was typically particular in the far regions from Banjul.
Well, that was a well-established tradition. It's most unfortunate that if you go to Farafenye, Sambojang had control. If you go to Basse, Banta had control. So there were these power barons all across the country, and every civil servant, for that matter, if you go, you must go pay homage to them. So he realized I wasn't going to be the one to be controlled.
The TRRC witness recalled during his posting as magistrate in Basse, authorities initiated a politically motivated case against 24 members of the opposition, United Democratic Party. He considered it a bitter experience, having been instructed to perform his duties against the spirit of the law. It was common, he said, for the then government to enforce the detention of accused persons even when they are granted bail. As regard to the cases before him, Magistrate Toure took up the risk in siding with the law.
So the whole idea was, because the investigations are not concluded, and I cannot grant bail, it's a subordinate court, I don't have power to grant bail, they thought the only option available to me was to remand them, and I refused.
Lawyer Bori Esture was dismissed from the service of the Gambia in what he challenged on point of laws. He believed that the loss of his job was not based on any misconduct, but a right conduct which didn't go down well with the then office of the president. Khadija Seka, iAfrica News.
Magistrates Bori Esture there among the list of witnesses who appeared before the TRRC over the past week or days. Now, there's more news coming ahead, and we will now take a short break and come back shortly with the remainder of the story. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back. This is Africa TV, and once again, thanks for joining us. Now, the Minister of Health, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, on Saturday reviewed the success and challenges and the way forward to the development of the National COVID-19 Response Team. The task force include the risk communication and committee engagement and case management team that were set up in March 2020 to consolidate efforts against the deadly virus in the Gambia. Ndesise has more details of that in this report.
The workshop was held to share experiences and analysis of the response to COVID-19 by the Health Ministry. together with partners, with a view to apply the lessons learned since the outbreak of the virus in the Gambia. Speaking during the closing of the 5-day workshop, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, gave credit to his team for momentous response to COVID-19.
We have come a long way in the COVID-19 response. Fortunately or unfortunately, no country had ever responded to COVID-19 before. So we all did it together. We all learned together. So in that, I believe, anecdotally, I can say that the country response has been a success.
The WHO country representative, Dr. Desta Tiruna, said the national COVID-19 response team is necessary as it will help the health ministry in identifying the various challenges that need to be addressed.
So this interaction review is a review to strengthen our preparedness and response system in the country, not only for the COVID-19 pandemic that we are currently facing, but beyond COVID-19. By strengthening our system, we'll be able to detect any future communicable disease pathogen that may be transmissible the same way. And very likely, from the forecasters, we are likely to have another similar pandemic. The pandemic flu is a possibility. Another variety of the virus may also come again. But if our systems are tested and ready, we can easily detect, contain the spread. So it's not about only COVID-19, it goes beyond.
The review covered response plan from March to December 2020, which focused mainly on coordination, surveillance, infection prevention and control. Among the recommendations, the need for additional national sample testing centers, vehicles for laboratory services, and quality test kits were highlighted. The Gambia is among the countries around the world that are still battling to delay the presence of the novel coronavirus, which has posed threats to lives across the world. Efforts are being made by WHO and its partners to distribute vaccines around the globe, especially to poorer countries. The Gambia contributes more than 5,000 COVID-19 confirmed cases to a total of over 4 million cases for the entire African continent since the outbreak of the disease. Of this total, more than 3 million people have recovered from the virus in Africa. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am DCC.
The Gambia's Minister of Health and WHO assess how the country responds to the deadly virus since its outbreak in 2020, that is in March, if you like. Now, let's stay with some, of course, more news on the COVID-19, because the WHO Director Tedros Ghebreyesus has called on countries to support the COVAX facility, a program meant to distribute vaccines to low and middle-income countries. The achieves the bilateral arrangement to deliver COVID-19 vaccines run the risk of fanning the flames of vaccines inequity, stressing that it is time for partnership, not patronage. Binta Jallo has more details of that in this report.
At a press conference in Geneva on Friday, Dr. Tedros noted that WHO had issued a call for vaccinations to begin in all countries within the first 100 days of the year. He added that with Saturday being day 100, out of 220 countries and economies, only 194 have now started vaccination. According to him, 7 of the remaining countries have received vaccines and could start. 4 of 5 countries are expected to receive their vaccines in the coming days, leaving 14 countries who have not yet begun vaccination for a range of reasons. Dr. Tedros said there remains a shocking imbalance in the global distribution of vaccines.
There remains a shocking imbalance in the global distribution of vaccines. More than 700 million vaccine doses have been administered globally, but over 87% have gone to high-income or upper-middle-income countries, while low-income countries have received just 0.2%. On average, in high-income countries, almost 1 in 4 people has received a vaccine. In low-income countries, it's 1 in more than 500. Let me repeat that, 1 in 4 versus 1 in 500.
The chief of Global Health Body also confirmed that COVAX works, describing it as a strong mechanism that can distribute vaccines faster and efficiently than any other mechanism.
COVAX works. It's a strong mechanism that can distribute vaccines faster and more efficiently than any other mechanism. The problem is not getting vaccines out of COVAX. The problem is getting them in. We understand that some countries and companies plan to do their own bilateral vaccine donations, bypassing COVAX for their own political or commercial reasons. These bilateral arrangements run the risk of fanning the flames of vaccine inequity. This is a time for partnership, not patronage.
COVAX is one of the 3 pillars of the Access to COVID-19 Tools Accelerator, which was launched in April by the World Health Organization, the European Commission, and France in response to this pandemic, bringing together governments, global health organizations, manufacturers, scientists, private sectors, civil society, and philanthropy, with the aim of providing innovative and equitable access to COVID-19 diagnostics, treatment, and vaccines. The COVAX pillar is focused on the latter. It is seen as the only global solution to the pandemic, as it remains the only effort to ensure that people in all corners of the world get access to COVID-19 vaccines once they are available, regardless of their wealth. For iAfrica News, Pinta Jallo.
The battle against the COVID-19 pandemic continues, and the WHO is calling for, of course, support and collaboration, and especially more support for low and middle-income countries. Well, viewers, that report from matters of the COVID-19 and WHO. We finally bring this week's news edition to an end, but for more details on this and other stories, as always, you can visit on our website on africa.tv. But for now, though, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.